The Long Shot with Diamond Cruikshank, introducing Twin Towers from the 92 band.
He's Quincy Jones.
This is Mad Dog.
We're Twin Towers.
Yeah. We're still here, man. Still standing. Yeah. This week is bred for survival. Remember when they told us we'd be dead on arrival? Good die young, we put an end to the cycle. You're looking at the truth, right hand on the Bible. The truth is You wonder what my situation is. 20 years of patience, I'll show you what dedication is. I strained relationships and I've traded in my pain just to make it big and to feel what greatness is. But behind the milestones and accomplishments, despite all the live shows and the compliments of microphone dominance, what I find ironic is I got the highest hopes for lowest confidence. Ain't it obvious? Each struggle I prove wrong. Can't knock my hustle on too strong. When it seems like every rapper above you is lukewarm, you realize that you've been too damn humble for too long.
20 years. I don't know if anyone has been doing something for 20 years, you know,
Yeah,
let alone
you know,
since
like
7 years old, you know, I mean, but I'm proud of it. It's a legacy. You know, if something happens to me tomorrow, I'll be happy for what I put in.
into the cycle. You looking at the truth, right hands on the
like when we were reading like the posts from Liner, it's like we're just like, man, like especially from a lot of artists from like the, you know, we like to represent the IE, which is like, man, we're not even out here just it's not even Twin Towers out here. It's like we put, you know, yeah, we put the IE on
And
the
the amount
back.
of people that are watching like the check-in videos, that was so crazy. So it was like people were texting me like, yeah, keep doing that, man. It's so cool. Like it's like I'm following you guys on your journey, and it was just that was really cool, you know. And that's why that video we put out, the whole riding around, it's like a South by Southwest version.
Right.
And we're going to do a real version soon. But it was like, you know what, let me put this out there so people kind of see what we were up to when we're out there.
I want to thank everyone that helped get us there for sure. Cause,
definitely.
I mean, back to what you were saying, like so many people wanted us to be there, and the majority of those people weren't even familiar with what South by Southwest actually meant, you know? And the fact that they didn't even know how much of a high priority we were trying to make it for ourselves to be there, and they wanted us to be there. Like that meant the world to us.
Yeah, we were selling stuff. We were necessary sacrifices.
Yeah,
you know, but just because, like, I was like, man, if I had another TV, I'd sell the TV. You know,
right.
But
you know?
yeah, overall, we just want to thank everybody for that.
Yeah. Last year we got to do the Glass House, and that was really fun.
Awesome.
And we might be doing it again this year. You know, we have a few things on the table. I don't want to put too much out, but we might be doing some really cool major things for our career.
Besides the fact of like being brothers, like what made you really want to do music together?
Because it's a little different like point of view for me. Like he said, like middle school, high school, he was kind of the first one to kind of like premiere like, hey, this is what I do. I don't care what nobody says. It just makes sense to just mesh. Like we do everything else together, you know. And I mean, there was a time where I actually moved out and I had time to myself for like 6 months, and I actually needed that time. Like I've worst time of my life. Like, you know, it came back.
That's just weird, you know, when you see someone every day for like, what at that point was at least 20 years.
20 years,
yeah. So it's like, man, like this guy's really not across the hall from me.
You know, I'm like, well, if you do it, I'll do it, you know?
Right.
So it kind of reminds me of like when we were little, like, you know, I would just follow him around and stuff like that. We follow each other. He pretty much, like, without him knowing, really kind of like built up my confidence to really get there. And what a lot of people don't know is like a lot of his early stuff he used to record, like, I mean, it's been years, but like I made beats. I made a lot of beats, and a lot of the beats I would make, you know, it'd be him on it. You know, it got to a point where it was like, I'm just making beats, you know, specifically for him.
Right.
And it was just like, and that was cool because he would always shout me out. You know, he'd give me credit and stuff like that. I would get on his albums every once and again. I wasn't so ready yet, but I was still like, you know, boiling up. And then, yeah, I mean, after a while, like, I just kind of started making beats because I really wanted to take the time out and actually work on my craft as an artist. Because I was still rapping. I was doing both simultaneously, but it was just, I felt I was getting, you know,
it's hard to grow
rapping and then making beats is up here as far as priority. So, and then even after that, I mean, after that, I already came elementary. Like, I mean, I'm born with this guy. I'm going to school with this guy. This guy was battle rapping and stuff in high school. I'm right there hyping him up and stuff like that. Like we started hip hop club, and I mean he
Oh,
wasn't
cool.
he wasn't even there. I had him. He was sick at home. I had him back when Nextel had a chirp.
Which is ironic too, because like when I did start battling, I almost felt like I was representing. It was like a voice for both of us.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like I was sick, yeah, and then like he went and like put my name in the
On the
bid.
back because they were trying to vote for like vice president, president. I'm
Right.
like, well, what about Britton? There's always a Batman or Robin, or you know what I mean. There's always something. There's always a duo of something. So it's like, let's do it.
I'm still surrounded by my friends by the time
Was it Preach?
Yeah.
Quincy Bueller's "No, no, it sounds like a church thing." He almost didn't want to do that song, and he like, came to me and said, "Yo, I got this idea,"
It's ironic.
and he said it to me, and I said, "Man, do it." You
Yeah.
know? And I told him like, at the end of the day, dude, just take the risk. That it's better than saying, "Oh, I'll never know."
Right.
You know, and that's what's cool is like we can encourage each other, we can keep it real with each other. Hey, man, I think you should flip this line this way. That was a little simple.
Right.
What, you know, I think that's what makes it easier to work with each other too.
allow me to approach the congregation one time for my people. You see, music is as abundant as the air we breathe. It is a rare species, a rare breed that we must continue to procreate and able to live so universal. Preach. I'm here to spread the good word, but the game's getting worse. I'm taking in the church because we need to see change, need to keep faith, need to be safe. Pray for us now.
He did do all those voices in the
I did. That was me. That was no
and every time I play it, I'm like, I didn't even hear that one live. Like, yeah, it's so funny. I'm like, that was you. There was no one else in the studio, my dude. That was all this guy. It's so funny.
Did you who did the voice in the beginning of the new video that's out, the driving around my twin voiceover? It's like 92 fam.
Oh, you know what? Oh, you talk. The it sounds like the Mr. Movie
Yeah.
film. That's me.
92 Fam TV.
So,
92 Fam. You know, because we have a 92 Fam YouTube, and it was like mainly for the music videos.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, but we had like different stuff we were filming, like
behind the scenes.
yeah, I did it
stuff,
behind the scenes with Johnny
interview
Cat.
stuff.
Yeah, so we're like, let's start another one. So we're like 92 Fam TV.
Audio visual and the success story of you guys' last solo album. Like, when's your next solo album's gonna come out?
We're actually in the midst of doing our second collaborative album, or duo album called Workaholics, which is, I think, is aptly named for a great reason. If anyone knows us, they know that's just all we do, you know. So, but we haven't really given thought, really, to after that. I would like to do audio visual too.
Yeah. Oh, we on? You sure they ready? Yeah, I'm not these stereotypical dudes spitting to seduce women through hypnosis of roofs missing while they jewels glisten. Much rather leave jewels hidden in smooth rhythms of my raw passion that's broadcasting my true vision. Hold up, man. I try to warn you.
But probably not until closer to like closer to the next year, you know, or maybe the end of this year. Maybe just start production on it. And I don't know. We'll shoot.
Well, since Success Story, I had a mixtape that I did, but it was like all original. So like he says, it's like that's a mixtape that should have been an album. Probably not this year, but I told him, I'm like, yeah, I'm probably gonna do Quincy Bueller's Day Off too, and that'll be like, I'm not gonna make it a series, just do it because I had so much fun with the first one. I'm definitely down to do a second one. So, but I mean, I don't know, it's weird because as far as like solo stuff, I don't really so much concentrate on it. Like, well, you know, with Success Story, I did.
Yo, I got a bright future, slightly dark past, but I just pray they see the good in me when I walk past. Today's forecast, a spiritual train wreck, physical roller coaster and emotional car crash. Put on your hard hats and walk aside a day in my life where I was backstabbed fatally twice. If love don't cost a thing, then why am I paying the price? It's house rules, so the odds are like playing with dice. I would've gave you my life, but I was too damn inebriated and love drunk.
I was really trying to get myself out there. A lot of people knew me because of him, either hyping him or doing songs with him, and you know, Twin Tower stuff. So it's like Success Story was like kind of my leg up, and then like Quincy Bueller's Day Off, I was able to kind of walk on my own. So it's like now that we got to spend time apart. He did his thing, I did my thing. We want to come back full circle. I mean, it's been 2 years since we did our first duo album, so yeah. I mean, we just concentrated on that for now, and hopefully we want to ride the wave on that for the rest of the year for the most part, and we'll see what happens next. So.
How did you guys get into music? What was the journey to get into music? What age did you guys start?
Her name is Mama.
La 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 la.
No. Well, we got into it around age 7. Yeah, 1992, which is where the 92 from 92 fam comes from. But yeah, when we were growing up, my mom just, I mean, and she'll deny this, you know, she doesn't think she has that much of an involvement, but she used to play lots of artists that just drew her attention. Whether it was, and it's funny because, I mean, you just saw my mom, so you might, you know, she seems very conservative, and she is for the most part, but she was playing stuff like Dog Pounds, Tupac, you know, All Eyes on Me album.
Say what you say, but give me that bomb beat from Drake. Let me serenade the streets of.
My homie Dr. Dre came through with a gang to tangle right.
You know, and that was, but in the 90s, that was the whole G-Funk era where, you know, Like This and Like That, you know, with Snoop and, or nothing but G Thing came out, and that whole explosion of music came in, and it was just a huge, just momentum, you know, for California in general, just, you know, as far as music on that side. And it was cool that we kind of just witnessed that growth and, like, I guess that revolution of sound, you know, and it's just something, I don't know, just always kind of drew us in. And I think kind of what hit the nail on the head, and it will sound funny, but, you know, Crisscross came out. And, you know, a lot of people remember from Jump and stuff like that, but to us, it was more than just that. It was just like, well, these guys are somewhat our age, and they're doing, you know, they have a major deal. They have video, like, they are getting the music out there, you know, and it was just kind of like, well, if these guys are the same age, like, we can do that. One time we just surprised my mom and said, hey, we want to get a karaoke machine. And had a microphone on it, and you were able to tape stuff, and that kind of really, that was probably the start of something that we didn't know was coming, you know. So from then on, yeah, it's just been one of those things where we just love to do it. And I remember just wanting to not clock out, but like get out of school, middle school, just to go home and just record something I wrote that day, you know. And it just went from something that may have been a hobby to some, or perceived by some like that, to full-grown passion. And yeah, over the years, whether it's criticism or roadblocks or even positive reinforcement, it just added to that fire, and it just grew and grew, and it's just like, now we're here, you know. And so yeah.
How did the idea for writing around with my twin come up? How did the idea
Before I even told him, I'm like, hey man, I don't know why I just got this beat on. I just keep saying it in my head because, you know, 2 Chainz had that right around. I'm getting it, but I'm like, this song is like awful. But it's like, but the thing with him, his like his whole like formula is lyrics are subpar but catchy. I'm like, I hate that. So it's like I would still have the hook in my head, but then. So I heard the beat, and I just like was messing around, like, just ride around with my twin, just ride around with my twin.
I'm just riding around with my twin. I'm just riding around with my twin. I'm just riding around, just riding around, just riding around with my twin. I'm just riding around with my twin. Got them green eyes, like skin. Got that money all in my mind, cause I'm always on my grind.
And I was just like, I was totally like messing around, and then I was like, I kept saying, I'm like, man, this is actually kind of funny, you know. And then it catchy, you know. And then I talked to my brother James about it, and he was like, I think that's a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, I just gotta talk to Doc about it. I don't know if he's gonna like it though, you know. And you know, it was funny because I pitched it to him at first, and he was like, I don't know.
I thought it was a stretch for sure.
And I just had to I just found different ways. I'm like, well, think about it, like we actually, like, anytime we go somewhere, I'm riding around with you. Like, I'm always passenger, and you're always like, you know, like I'm always right. I don't ever go somewhere you're not,
Right.
and vice versa.
Very
So
rarely.
I'm riding around with my twin.
top influences on you guys' music?
Man, it's been a while since I've been.
Yeah.
You go first because I can't even answer.
Each other off top. Right now, like, he has been really, you know, he's been picking a lot of the beats, which he usually does, and he'll write to him, you know, just to kind of get that incentive, like, hey, let's get the ball rolling. And I've been finding myself really, like, baffled, like, man, I got to step my game up, you know, and because I'm used to being the twin that kind of came out first on the creative side of stuff, you know. But yeah, so us for sure, big Jay-Z fan. Really into Kendrick Lamar. I think he, you know, I don't want to be one of those guys like, oh, before he got signed, but, you know, he's one of those guys I feel like keeps the game innovative. And I'm, you know, if you've heard audiovisual, you know that's my lane of like keeping things broader, not so, you know, I like to make music, not rap music, you know, so But yeah, like in like guys like J. Cole and like B.O.B. I'm a big fan of.
I'm a big Joe Budden fan. Who, I don't know if you know, he's on Love and Hip Hop right now. He's got himself looking crazy. Eminem, I've always been a fan of Eminem. I don't know, like I liked Wiz before. I mean, I still like Wiz. I enjoyed his music more before. Where I would say that he had not a huge influence on me, but just listening to him, I'm like, man, this guy he just makes his kind of music. He doesn't even care, you know, like he doesn't cater to one lane or the other. He caters to his own. Well, of course, you know, with the new name change, I'd have to say Quincy Jones. Obviously, you know, he's a musical genius.
I always tell myself, like, whenever I'm not on this earth anymore, I don't want to be known as a rapper. I want to be known as a musician, you know. And it's funny because everyone goes, oh, what instrument do you play? And it's like, yeah, well, I play a little piano and trumpet, but that's not what I'm doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I like to make music. And, like, yeah, guys like Quincy Jones, who did, everyone knows what he did for Michael Jackson's career, you know,
Absolutely.
like, and just, you know, I think guys that know how to make great quality music, and that's what we strive to do, instead of just being in a box of hip-hop.
At the end of the day, music overall is our influence, like everything.
South by Southwest tour. What was like the tour consisting of? What is like a little bit of background of the tour?
It was like it's not a tour. What it is, it's kind of like Comic-Con for musicians, pretty much. Like,
yeah, it's a huge music festival.
Yeah, you know, and it's like I think it's about a week and a half long. So it really depends.
About 9 days, yeah.
I mean, it's not just music; it's media. They have a movie festival there. It's like pretty much anyone that's remotely interested in the entertainment industry, they get their tickets quick, or like it's
huge. Like Austin too, just like their community is very big on just music in general.
Yeah. Right.
So like they've always held it off everyone on the streets. It's just venues everywhere. You hear all kinds of different sounds. Yeah, you know, from rock to heavy metal to punk rock to hip hop to underground. It's just a big.
It's like producer showcases. It's like anything and everything you think of. It's like a big mixer.
Bands go, musicians go, and then you got labels that go looking for new people. You know, and it's cool. It's like just a huge melting pot of just networking and music and just it's a cool atmosphere.
What are the most topics that you guys talk about, like in your songs?
We're always talking about, like, you know, working, striving hard, trying to be successful, grinding. It's just like, you know, I remember once there's a song that was on Quincy Louis' Day Off. He's like, maybe that should be a bonus track. Cause I mean, you're talking about doing the grinding and all this, the whole song, you know, the whole project. So I mean, I would have to say, like, I mean, it reflects our life. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Which is why, I mean, goes back to the new album in Workaholics. It's like we just talk about what we do. Like, we perform here, we perform there. We did this with this person,
and not in a bragging. It's just it's just kind of like, and not even just a list like pinnacles. It's just kind of like, these are the steps that we've taken, you know, and to say we're patient is kind of an understatement, you know. But even the other day, I played a new track that's off the, you know, our new project to a friend, close friend, and one he stayed quiet the whole time, and one thing he kept saying was, man, you know what, dude, what I love about these verses is that I know you, and you're just talking about what's going on in your life, what you know.
We can really touch on different things, and at the end of the day, we kind of make it our own, and at the same time, like, related.
Biggest challenges you've had to deal with in this music industry?
I would say just breaking the stigma that you have to be a certain type. I know I did some time when I was with a label. Long story short, the best thing I did was never sign a contract. They were like, okay, well, you're going to be Jay-Z or you're going to make common music. I'm like, well, they're both dope. I'm going to be both. You know? So I think that's the biggest thing is that when I had to open my eyes to see this is really what the industry is, you got to pick and choose. But I'm like, why do you have to choose? Just do what you want to do, make real music. So I would say overcoming that was probably the biggest challenge for me, and knowing like I was so close and had to walk away just to start all over. You know,
I would have to say, you know, like, I guess what it is, like, technology has kind of increased the amount of people trying, you know, decrease the amount of odds, increase the amount of like competitors, you know. And it's like ever since like the whole Best Buy home studio setup hit, it's like, man, everyone can do anything, and you know, everything's so much easily accessible, which is not a bad thing. But for us, it's like, you know, it's you know, we already were like, you know, trying to stand out, and now it's like we're in a sea that's even bigger. But you know, besides that, it's like at the end of the day, to combat that, we kind of just keep it us 100% at the end of the day. And
I know we can.
Britton, the real music doesn't go out in 3 months. What would you say, like, your message was supposed to be with that post?
To me, it means be an innovator. Be original. I think everyone can do the same formula. I've never been built like that. That's why I could finish school, but I can't do it with all my heart because I can't sit there and read a book and say, okay, this is the one way to do something.
Right.
I'm always going to think about what's another way that I could successfully do this
Right.
without, like just a more smarter, quicker, innovative way. You know what I'm saying? And I think what it is just, there's like this whole Harlem Shake stuff and everything. Everyone trying to recreate stuff. Create something.
Right.
That's really what it is. The Beatles and guys like that, and Jimi Hendrix and Marley, those are guys that will live forever. Because
Anyone that sees us perform, man, if at the end of the show, it could be a 5-minute set. It doesn't matter. But if we're not sweating, we didn't do it.
Right.
and that's something a lot of people give us a lot of compliments on. Like, yeah, you guys bounce around. You guys are so interactive.
Times two, because we're twins, So double the trouble.
That's horrible too.
It's a long shot. We on. I see you looking at this. Took me a long time to get this. I'm never going to let it go. Because one thing you didn't know is the Twin Towers are the world champions of the world. And come this Sunday, anyone that wants to come, it could be the Bushwhackers. It could be the Road Warriors. It could be Tag Team Back Again. Whoop, there it is. It'll be a candy-ass, whoop-ass all over the arena if you smell what the Quince is cooking.
My friend Jeff Valencia, he's
Wow.
a great artist. We used to be in a band together. He painted this for me for the album cover. And I scanned it and then I ended up just mirroring the image, but it's cool. Like, I get to hang on to it. He didn't even sign it though. He's got to sign it one day, but it's cool because the whole thing was like a Rorschach test of like the whole audio visual. Like, when you look into a picture, what do you see? What represents music the most? Headphones.
Good evening, this is Diamond Cruikshank and this is Long Shot.
What it is, what it is, what it is. Yeah, what it is, what it is.